Welcome back, car people. Will you join me here on a wet and windy October day? We've been challenged by the weather to make this end of the month forecourt roundup, and I finally found a break in the weather on Halloween. Yes, it's the last day of the month, the 31st, and I was sent a lovely picture last night of my granddaughter's pumpkin carvings. So I hope all the children out there are having fun with their trick-or-treating, and happy Halloween to everybody. So thinking back to September very briefly, I think I was a bit hard on myself for the month. It did seem very quiet. The first 2 weeks were quiet, but then I sold 5 cars, finished the month off really well, and I was down to 1 car. And if you haven't got the stock, you can't sell it. So I put out a call for cars, and a few were offered, but sadly didn't get together with anyone on those. However, October, I feel, was a better month. It generally seemed a lot busier, and I think that's because some of the cars I could have perhaps sold 2-3 times, maybe more. I never know. Once the advert's gone down, never know what inquiries would come. But I had multiple inquiries on all the cars. The lovely Aston Martin DBS went to Martin from Buckinghamshire. That was a deal that was arranged in September but concluded the first week of October. I then had a gentleman called Chris also from Buckinghamshire. He came to buy the Ferrari 456 on behalf of his boss, who's a car collector, and that was taken away back to their car collection up there in Buckinghamshire. The next car was the Porsche Cayman. That went to a returning customer, a gentleman called Andrew from Surrey. Andrew bought a Porsche 911 from me 3 or 4 years ago, and when he saw this Cayman pop up on my website, he was intrigued to know why it was so cheap. Well, I'd advertised it cheaply because it had some corrosion on the wings, and I thought I'll get that into the body shop, spend £1,000 on it, will make it look like a nice car. But the body shop couldn't get it in for 3 or 4 weeks, and therefore I advertised it cheap as it was. And if someone wanted to buy it as is, then they were getting a cheap car from that. Little did I know that the inquiries that I was going to get asked me if the car had bore scoring. And that was a thing that I wasn't aware of on Caymans. Bore scoring is an issue on 911s, but every day's a school day, and I found out that I have to now look out for bore scoring on Caymans. Well, I took the car to the local Porsche specialist just up the road here, and they confirmed that this car did indeed suffer from scoring on cylinder 5. So that engine has got the scoring on the cylinders. I made Andrew aware of that, and we came to an arrangement where he still bought the car anyway, and fair play to him, not scared of something that is ultimately going to probably be the failure of the car, but he has a plan to use the car and enjoy it. So that was that one. Then I sold the BMW Z4 to a local chap from Bracknell. You saw my video of that, going to collect the car from Dorset. Nice guy down there who was selling up his home in Dorset and moving up to London. Didn't have a parking space for the car in London and needed to dispose of it, and I bought it and sold it really very quickly to a local gentleman. And the last car to tell you about in terms of sales was the Ferrari California. You'll remember in previous videos I'd complained at lots of tyre kickers on that one, and in the end it went to a returning customer, a gentleman called Chris, also from Buckinghamshire. He bought from me a DB9 Volante last year. Long-term followers of the channel will remember the week in August last year where I bought 3 DB9s, and this was the car that I bought from a guy in Bristol, and Chris purchased that from me. He's run it for a year, contacted me and said he fancied a change, and I said, well, I've got this California here, what do you think of that? Well, lo and behold, a deal was done, and he came down last Friday morning in his DB9, collected the California, and off he went. So he's a happy bunny. I listed the DB9 on my website with the pictures that I had in stock from last year, and within 6 hours I'd had 2 inquiries, and the following morning a viewing and a deposit on the car. So very pleased to have that one put to bed already. The car is going off to have a double check over, and then we'll get it off to him hopefully sometime next week. So that's sales. Oh, Range Rover, I forgot the Range Rover. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that was an interesting one, because that went to a guy called Norman from the Isle of Lewis. And Isle of Lewis is in the Outer Hebrides. So about as far as you can get with a UK postcode. He flew from the Isle of Lewis to Glasgow, and then Glasgow to Heathrow, and made his way here, and he then drove the car 2 days home to Lewis and sent me a lovely text message saying how wonderful the car drove and how delighted he was with my service. And he's off now on a business trip, and is going to get in touch with me when he returns. So yeah, those are the sales. That's what's gone out. What's come in is we've got this lovely Range Rover Evoque first edition car finished in Nolita grey. That car came in from a local gentleman who's a traffic policeman, advanced driver and firearms officer. So he has really looked after the car, and I'm very pleased to have that. The Audi A5 here came in yesterday. I haven't had time even to photograph it because of the weather, but that came in from a young trader friend of mine called Jack. Shout out to Jack at Clifton Prestige. He is a guy trying to make his way in the motor trade, and he's doing rather well for himself. So I was pleased to help him when he had this car come into stock, and it didn't meet his profile, that I would take it on for him. And now this car here is the Mini Cooper S John Cooper Works convertible. Really nice example, local car that was part exchanged at Sytner Sunningdale, and obviously too old for them, and that car went onto the Sytner website, the trade website, and I was lucky enough to be able to buy that. So that car is on my website with a full set of photographs. Now, something else that I wanted to mention, this could be potentially very exciting. There are some videos out on the social media platforms, TikTok, I think there's one or two on YouTube as well, and they show an abandoned car collection at a derelict mansion in Surrey. I think they've said that's the area, but actually the area is Berkshire. And I came across those videos and I recognised the house and the cars in question. There's about 20 cars under car covers on what appears to be an unused driveway. And when I recognised the video, I knew exactly who the cars were because they belonged to a client of mine. So I forwarded him one of these videos, and he was immediately on the phone to me asking me what this was, and I told him that I'd found this on TikTok, and he rushed straight to the house with some of his people and immediately got to work installing security and having security guards, cameras put up, signs put up, and then contacted me and said, "Kevin, we can't tolerate this. I think I'm going to need to get rid of these cars." So over the past week, I've been assisting him with moving these cars to various other locations, taking some to workshops to have some work done on them. Others will be going to auctions because they're just not cars that I want to sell. But I do excitingly have two Ferraris that were part of that collection, neither of which were undercovers on a driveway. They were actually dry stored in a heated garage. One of them is a left-hand drive Ferrari 308, so if there's anyone out there that wants to relive his Magnum Tom Selleck days, then I do have a 308 coming to the channel very soon. And the other one that I'm really excited about is a Ferrari Testarossa, a Rosso Crema car with just 25,000 miles on the clock. Those are cars, particularly the Testarossa, that are very special and will require a good amount of investigation and checking over to make sure that they're in a retail ready condition. But if there is anyone out there that's interested in a 308, it's a left-hand drive car, but maybe that doesn't concern you. The other one, the Testarossa, if that's of interest, do reach out to me, send me an email or a text, or even call. You know, I like a phone call, and I'll be able to tell you what I know, and then you'll be first in line to see the cars or have first shout on them when they are ready for sale. So that's the roundup for this month. Looking forward to busy November. I do need cars. 3 cars is not really much of a forecourt, and to that extent I'll ask you again, please, if anyone out there does have any nice cars for sale, anything from a Fiat to a Ferrari, as long as it's a nice example and priced to leave me a profit, then I'm interested in buying it. I do have a couple of viewers that have reached out with cars, and I hope to have a couple of Mercedes coming into stock next week, so we'll have a boost for next week, I'm sure. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. It's getting a bit chilly now. Once again, wish you all a happy Halloween, and onwards and upwards, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching, and if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please do me a favour, just hit that little like and the thumbs up button. It makes all the difference to me. I'd love to get to 3,000 subscribers if possible, help my little channel grow just that bit more. Once again, many thanks. See you soon.